What is up? No. What's up, everybody? Welcome back, Qualified Dropouts, episode 69. So, today...
Right? How about that, TJ?
69. Yeah, 69. Right? What episode are we on?
Yeah. I don't know.
37?
I don't know. Like 100, 150. This is the best podcast in the whole entire world. Tell your friends about it.
Boom.
We're going to dive right into it.
We like to get controversial and preach our own beliefs that maybe not a lot of people agree with because we dropped out of college. So we're losers, but we're going to teach you exactly what we've learned of being a loser.
You know, I think we just speak the truth. And the truth is controversial.
Yeah.
Today's
well, they are opinions. I just think we're not scared to say how we view the world.
Mm-hmm.
What do you think, TJ?
What are your thoughts on that, TJ? TJ's eating a bowl of ice cream behind camera right now. Actually, it's cereal. Yeah, Reese's Puffs.
Oh, yeah. Forgot about that.
Oh, yeah.
Okay. Organization. Let's so people don't click off this video.
Well, Ian and I just made videos about purpose this past week. And I don't know if you watch them. I don't watch your YouTube videos. I'll just be honest.
I don't watch yours.
Yeah, you probably don't watch mine. So you
don't need my view.
Yeah, I have no idea how you describe purpose in your video. So, and my video is only like 10 minutes long, but we can dive a little bit deeper into our views on how to properly find purpose.
See, I talked about like how I found my purpose.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's basically how I found my purpose, and then like what it meant to me. And I also talked about how your purpose can change throughout life.
Mm-hmm.
And also
about
like
that too.
Everything like that. So based off of the area you're in. So let's dive into it. I think we should start with how to find purpose.
Okay. Yeah, that's what I just asked you. You have to start.
Oh, all right. I didn't hear that.
Yeah.
So for me and my video, when I talked about how to find purpose, what I like to describe it as is becoming a master or learning a skill that can help a community of people or helping others.
Ooh.
That to me is like going to be your purpose because people in general, they thrive off community. So if you talk to anybody who you could say lacks purpose or depressed or anxious, the reason why they lack those things is not because they're not valuable to the world, but it's because they have no community. They feel alone. They feel like there's nobody there that supports them. That they don't feel like they belong to any section of this world. So if you find a skill that you're really good at and you can help a community, those people tend to be happier, less anxious, less depressed. It still comes. But, I mean, how I described it in my video, too, I was like, go and, like, if you're depressed or you're alone, you don't feel like you have a purpose, just go serve at a homeless shelter for, like, a day. Mm-hmm. Go give back to the community. And then after that, tell me if you actually feel depressed anymore or anxious or, like, grateful or, like, you don't feel grateful or anything. Because that's... Like, there's no way you feel that way. I remember one year I actually, on Christmas Day, we went and served at a homeless shelter. Mm-hmm. That was the coolest experience ever.
Yeah. I remember when I got arrested at school, that was something I had to do. I had to go cut onions and serve spaghetti to a homeless shelter. Yeah. And I also had to do that in college for a class. That was really sketchy. Like, I actually thought I was going to die. It was a homeless shelter under a bridge, and it was one old lady running the whole entire building, and I'm like, this is it. Like, this is where my life ends, because this girl can't. Yeah. She was like 70.
Yeah.
I was like, dude, it takes 2 people in their 30s to run this place over.
Yeah, but they wouldn't, because I guarantee all the homeless people are thankful for her. They would like protect her. So it was community, right? It's like a great feeling. So to find your purpose, and if you don't feel like you have a purpose, then you need to find a skill that you're really good at, or master something, or become super knowledgeable in a certain area, or just figure something out, and then learn how to help others or apply that into like some type of community. You'll find that's your purpose. Obviously, that is more common in your younger ages, but as you get older, your purpose may change of like to take care of family, but it's still giving. Like, you're still giving. Like, your whole purpose, I think people thrive off of giving in community. So if you can do anything in the world to give back to others, you're going to just feel so you're gonna have so much more purpose in life. I mean, you take a look at the richest people, like actors, and any person who's very, very wealthy. What do they end up doing most of the time? They open up charities. They open up a bunch of donation things. They give back. They do a bunch of crazy things. It's because they feel like they have a purpose. Oh, that's how I found purpose.
Yeah, that's basically the same as me. I just don't use the word community. I just say helping others. But I mean, same thing. I just described it as, also I described it as you need to find out what you love to do, because both of us are skilled at a lot of things, but some of the things that we're skilled at, it's not what we love to do, right? So, like, I can give you all an example. So, for me, when I was growing up, I was really good at video games, and it is something I did love to do for a period of time, but then when I started to try and, like, project my video game playing to, like, the world, that's when I stopped loving it. And that's when I know it wasn't a part of my purpose. So I always like to say, find what you love to do that you're also skilled at, and then you have to help others doing that.
That's good. Yeah. I think that's, like, super important. And so I think we should dive into, like, how we found our purpose. So you go first.
Oh, man.
How did you find your purpose?
We getting spiritual on here or what?
Dude, it's our podcast. Say where the fuck
Well, I didn't know if you wanted to go into it.
Why not?
Okay. Well, because that's what I was going to talk about next.
Yeah.
So I was like, obviously, God
you
has a
can
big
talk
part
about
to play
that.
with it. Yeah.
I mean, that's how, it's all about you, bro. How do you think you found your purpose?
So I believe I found my purpose when I was making a shit ton of money. And then I felt really empty and unfulfilled because it felt like I wasn't targeting the right people who I wanted to target. And it actually started to change when Daniel started preaching. Like that, because we had that other guy.
Yeah, what was his name?
I forgot his name. Sucks what he did, but we don't have to go into detail.
He was super famous too. Like, he's very well known.
Yeah,
he had like 1 million followers or something like that.
Still very well known.
Yeah, he's still very well known. But I haven't heard anything. He's still involved actually with Hope City.
No way.
Well, he will always be involved, but he just doesn't. He's not a pastor. He's just a part. Like, he will see the silos and everything being open, but like, I think he invests in it still. But he doesn't do anything because of
So, because the first church service I ever went to was with him, the old pastor we had. That was a really good service. But then when he left, I like understood Daniel more in a way. And I guess that...
Yeah, I like Daniel as a pastor.
Yeah, I would like to say when Daniel started preaching, like, that's when I officially got, like, saved in a way. Because, like, I've been baptized and stuff like that, but... When were you baptized? When you were like 3 or 4?
I was baptized when I was like 15.
Really? So you remember it?
Yeah.
Interesting.
I was like 15. I think I was baptized before I went down to Peru. It was right before I went down to Peru.
Was it something that you wanted to do, or was it something that... Oh, yeah?
Yeah.
I thought it was something that your parents, like, kind of...
No, I chose. I signed up for it. Yeah.
There you go.
Because it was part of my youth group, and then, like, I just chose... I think it was a beach baptism, too. We went to the beach.
No way. Dude, that's sick.
That's, like, normal down there, though.
Yeah.
That's all they do. They don't do bathtub.
Dude.
This is also very interesting, because I'm, like... I literally, honestly, just thought, I'm like, oh, wow, like, when you come here, I'm like, people get baptized in a tub. I'm like, all of our baptisms are all on the beach.
No, and then in the South, it's... No, okay, well, it is rivers, but also it's... In the South, we have really, like, traditional churches. So, like, they have the water bowl, and they put the water, and then they put it on your head. And that's... I got baptized twice, I'm pretty sure. I have to ask my mom, but I'm pretty sure I got baptized at my Methodist church, and then I also got baptized at my Presbyterian church when I was, like, a year old. And it was something that I don't remember. So, it's almost like I want to get baptized again, but I don't really know the difference between getting baptized and, like, being saved. I don't really know the difference. But the thing is, I've already been baptized, so it's like I don't know if I necessarily need to do it again.
Yeah.
But
I mean, people get multiple baptisms throughout their life.
Really?
It's like rededicating your life. That's all it is.
Yeah.
So it's like people.
Something I've wanted to do.
I mean, when Jesus would walk around and like do the baptisms, like in the Nile River and everything, or like all the other cities, like he would like people would go and get baptized. They've probably already been baptized. I mean, that's probably it's just normal. You get baptized and you have so it's just all about like fellowship and just rededicating and re-solidifying it, washing away your sins, basically.
Yeah.
So it's good. I think it's good to do. I think some people do it very, very consistently where it's like, I mean, yeah, you can, it's up to you, but if you enjoy it, like go for it. But
yeah. Anyways, back, I was just curious about like your experience with that. But anyways, so yeah, when Daniel started preaching, he started talking because Daniel talks about purpose a lot. And so as he was going along with it, I'm like, he would say that I can't remember like specifically like what he would say in certain services, but it would like hit me where it's like, okay, that makes sense. Like I probably shouldn't be doing this. I should probably be doing this. So that's a big part on how I found it. But essentially when I was making more money than I ever have, I felt very, very unfulfilled.
It felt like we just felt like we could never get enough.
Yeah, it felt like I could
never
get
a feeling.
Yeah,
it's like you don't ever feel safe. You never feel like you never, which is not good to have like comfort, but it's like there is a point too where like you need to feel, I don't know, in control. I don't know. We just never. I mean, unfulfilled is like the best thing.
Yeah,
and it's like I didn't feel it too, especially like. I mean, we hit our 10K months, and it's like sounds cool, but then it's like, I don't know. It's just like that. It's like okay, 20K. Like you just never ever feel. Like, I never felt good.
We'll dive into that in a little bit. About the 10K months, but yeah. So that's kind of how I like started to find it, and then I guess. It's so hard to explain because then as I really truly found my purpose when I like got on YouTube. That's when I truly found it because I started talking about things that was about my experience in my life that wasn't directly related to fitness. It was just directly related to my life. And I knew people needed to hear it because I knew that there are kids out there that are living essentially the same life as us. They have two parents, they send them to school, and, they don't want to go to school. So for me, it was a big thing. I'm like, a lot of people need to hear this, and I always say this. I'm like, and this is something Alex Hormozy says a lot too, is I didn't have myself when I needed myself the most when I started. And so I say that in a lot of my videos where I'm like, guys, like I didn't have myself when I was 16 or 17 years old. So you guys have me. So if you guys absorb the message I'm talking to you guys and take my advice, y'all are going to be a lot better than me, and that's the whole point. And I think that right there is true purpose and true fulfillment is when you are helping people from either in a community or all across the globe, but helping them in a way to have them become a better version of you in a sense, because you didn't have that information when you need that information.
Yeah. No, I agree.
And that's kind of how I found mine.
And I think how I found mine was definitely it's just all fitness related, right? I'm a coach, but it all sparked when I did the 2 bodybuilding shows. I actually had a lot of people that like, I want to say doubted me, but they were kind of like, I don't think anyone really. Just for my talent, like, it was uncommon for people to be like, I'm going to do a bodybuilding show and, like, go through with it. And they're like, oh, how good could you actually look? And when I actually did it, and I looked pretty good for my first bodybuilding show. I had pretty decent muscle mass and everything. I think a lot of people were definitely shocked, and I found I could, like, impact a bunch of people because I did it while all at, like, working at a fast food restaurant and had to eat fast food every day. But, you know what's crazy? I had actually a couple people from my hometown who didn't really talk to me. They like posted my stage shots and reposted me on their stories on Instagram. And
wow.
The day before it was the day I think after my show. They reposted some of my stuff,
Mm-hmm.
or maybe the day of, or something like that. But it was really cool. That was kind of crazy because I looked up. I was like, oh wow, these people, I don't really talk to these people, and they're just like, this is so cool to watch this whole process. But the feeling of like being a coach and helping people go from like the people I've coached went from so unconfident and like just oh my gosh, crazy. Their mental, just the mentality on life was just totally different compared to now. And seeing that transformation, it just drives a lot of purpose, and it allows me to do something I love, which is fitness and create content, but then also help others overcome a lot of the hurdles that I had to learn how to overcome because I didn't know really anything about fitness, and I didn't have anybody to go look on Instagram or YouTube or whatever, like learn everything about it. Like I had no idea. So now there's just access to so much more information that's easier. So it's like really fulfilling to watch somebody totally change their life, because the whole purpose of mine too is to do something you never thought you could ever do at the end of it. And so it's cool to see like Steven, he did a bodybuilding show. Never thought he would have. He was a dad, father of 2, husband, whole family, 2 jobs. He's like, I could never look like that or never. And he looked insane for, I mean, like for where he was at. He needs more years for sure, but he looked the best he ever looked, and he did something he never thought he could do. And he like freaking was like crying. It was crazy. Yeah. So that's like super, super rewarding, and kind of like, that's what I want to help people with is people that are like that, because it's like such a great feeling. And I know my purpose will change in the future. Yeah. I think purpose can change based off of each chapter in your life. My chapter now is building my business and doing Embrace the Journey. Who knows what will happen in the next 10 years or what will change in the next 10 years. But I know my purpose is to impact as many people as I can and help them achieve something that they never thought they could ever achieve. So yeah, that's my purpose. I think we could dive in to
real quick, because I know some people are still probably going to be a little bit confused. So when it comes to purpose, it always comes back to helping others. It doesn't come back to helping yourself. It comes to helping others. That's one thing. And then also, when you are truly engraving your purpose, you're going to find true joy. And on top of that, we don't really have to get into it, but happiness and joy are completely different. But joy is...
It's like a feeling inside.
It's a feeling inside, and it's everlasting as well. So, for example, me and Ian will have bad days, but we still have our joy. And it's just really important to know that. And when you do have that distinction between happiness and joy, that's when you know it's like, okay, this is joy, this is happiness. You're going to understand more on like, okay, this is truly my purpose.
I think joy, like, even on your worst day when you're not happy, you're still thankful for what you are doing, and you're, like, happy. And that's what we were, like, even on my worst days, I'm like, man, I'm still, like, thankful for what I'm doing, and I love it. Yeah. But it doesn't mean I'm happy in the moment, like, I'm smiling all the time. Like, that's happiness, and joy is where you're, like, thankful. So, yeah. So that's purpose.
Wow. Yeah, so that's purpose. Wow. Steaming over here. Smells like sulfur. Which one do you want? I mean, they kind of go hand in hand. Which one do you want to talk about, though?
I mean, they're both the exact same.
Yeah, pretty much. So we wanted to... You know what? I want to make a statement right here. I want to make a statement. Real quick. And this is going to be steamy. This may be steamy.
I'm actually kind of nervous.
So, the influencers who tell you on the internet that
Holy
Yeah, that's a steamer.
Oh, my gosh.
That was a steamer, and also this is about to be a steamy statement. So the influencers who tell you that you're not living life until you make $10K a month are absolutely delusional. And those are the people that I don't want you guys to take advice from. Because me and Ian have both done that, and I will be completely raw with you guys right now. I make less than that right now, and I am way more fulfilled now than what I was doing when I was making 10K months.
I agree with that. I think right now the common thing is for people to say, oh, start this business, make 10K a month or 30K or whatever. Like, you can do it in 90 days. It puts this, like, false reality. Not a false reality. It can happen, right? Yeah. Mm-hmm. But it puts this perception that if you aren't doing that, you're a failure, and that's it. It's like you have to do this much money, and if not, like, you're a loser. You're not doing it right. And that's not the case. Like, You cannot go from 0 to 10K a month and know everything about business and understand how to build a quality product and how to sell something and be consistent. Like that's only 3 months. That's like not a lot of time. Think of how long you have to go to school to study one subject. Like
For real, bro.
4 years.
Crazy.
Like, don't you think that if you applied that same like vision, like, okay, I'm going to expect to grow something for 4 years and then see how I do and what I learn. Don't you think like that's more realistic? Like you might hit 10K months early on and then lose it. I mean, that's kind of what happened to me as well. It's like I hit 10K months early on, but I had no idea how to handle that.
Mm-hmm.
There are levels to that as well, of like how much money you can handle. If you're not used to having, $3,000 in your checking account, when you start seeing $10,000 and $20,000, you're going to be like, oh, I have all this money. Like I can just spend it on whatever. You won't be able to actually like handle that. There's levels to this. You have to adjust to it. So I totally agree. Like if you see people just bragging about like how much money they're making, that's not the reason why you do something. Because I promise you, I mean, this is coming from me last year. I hit that number, and once I hit it, it's like, okay, next month, like next thing we got to do is 20K. And like that's all it was. Like, oh, is that really it? Like I felt so unfulfilled. It was so depressing. Like I made that much money and I'm like, this is literally stupid, because I was like, is this how I'm going to feel for the rest of my life? Like just constantly chasing. Like there's no like joy, like there's no like nothing. And that's just, I mean, how we were taught. Like you have to be, that kind of goes back to our last one of our old podcasts is like choose who you listen to. And to be honest, like we found out we were not listening possibly to the right people. Like we were in some areas, but some areas like we shouldn't. That's not how you should feel. You shouldn't feel like you're just chasing money and chasing them. Like you should enjoy what you're doing and then like feel fulfilled, because money doesn't make you fulfilled. And so I mean, I've definitely like I've had months where I make less than 10K and I feel so much more financially stable and free and fulfilled than I did when I hit my 10K months, just because it's just so much. I mean, it's purpose. It comes down to purpose, and we learned from it. We made adjustments in our business, and we found out what we want, and we aren't pushing. We're just watching it grow steadily and, like, taking time with it and understanding that we have our whole life ahead of us. So,
because that's another thing also, dude, is we didn't know what we wanted, and now we know what we want. So if we need to go out and do Uber Eats to pay bills, we're going to be more happy and more fulfilled doing that, knowing that that money's going towards bills, while also doing our companies mainly because we know what we want to do.
Yeah, no, I agree 100%. Like that's.
And the thing is last year it wasn't like that.
No.
At all. No. If I would have done Uber Eats last year, I would have been like, what am I doing? You know?
I think we put this like.
We put this shield, like, it's almost like we put a shield over ourselves. We were like, we're good because we're making money, but it's like, no, we're not good. We're actually not good because we're making so much money.
Yeah.
Like, it's
crazy. It's like you get a different perspective. And so we just want to kind of preach to people who are just chasing after money. Like,
yeah, and
don't
like
push for just money. Push to build something that you can withstand for like ever. And
I'm never going to sit here and tell you guys like less money makes me more happy and whatever.
Yeah, not at all.
It says in the Bible. It says in the Bible you need to grow wealth for yourself. It says that. It doesn't say in the Bible anywhere you're supposed to be poor. Like no, God's rooting for you to get rich. He really is. However,
financially free and financially free for some people, maybe 3K a month, 5K a month, or 20K a month. They may not feel. It depends on your like how you spend, what you do in your life. Like for me, financially free is 5K a month, easy. Like that's actually more than like fine. That's like same. I'm chilling. I don't spend a lot of money. Like everything's fine. I'm just living life and growing my business. Like if I hit 5K a month, like I'm literally like chilling, and I mean like it's. Yep. That's just it. Anything after that, it's just like it's surplus. It's awesome. Like I feel great. Like I'm fine. And so you have to kind of evaluate what's your financial freedom, and if it's too high, also, like you have to reevaluate like maybe where you're putting your money, or also your morals and ethics as well, because maybe you just view it differently. So
I just know it's a big thing going around in the internet right now, and I just want it to be talked about because I get the questions so much, and people ask me, hey, dude, like, I want to retire my parents. I want to hit 10K months. I'm 16 years old. It's like, bro, go mow grass. Like, you're 16. Slow down. Yeah. Like, I want you guys to understand something. These people who are telling you, I will help you make $10,000 a month, they have been in business minimum 5 years. Minimum.
100%.
All of these influencers y'all look up to, I'm telling you guys this right now, y'all don't know their whole story. They were in the exact same position as you guys when they were 16, 17. They were broke as shit. They didn't know anything about money. And now they are helping you guys in a way, but I don't want y'all to get this false narrative and false reality that you need to be making 10K a month to live. Or
even just like be successful.
Or to be successful, yeah. And
I classify myself as very successful.
That's something else I kind of want to dive into because I want to get your perspective on, because this is something I've been touching on so much, bro. So I think success.
I think also for me, that's why I really didn't like last year.
We were putting success as a tangible item. Well,
I feel like I didn't as much. I never was like bragging. I was like, I didn't like that money was the only measurement of success for us that was getting pushed on us. Yeah. That's why I was like, I never really liked to talk about it, and I didn't care about other people's numbers, and I didn't care about
same here.
Like who made more money, because to me that's just not healthy. Like that is just such a like to basically try to put yourself on a higher pedestal just because you make a little bit more money than somebody else. I mean, I think it's important to learn from somebody who's making more money than you, but there's right ways to go about it. And there's right ways to understand it. But that's why I never participated in like really.
That's why I stopped. I'm like, this is ridiculous.
This is like stupid, because all it does is it like makes other people feel more worthless because like I'm not making money. So
yeah, and
like
it gives you this dopamine hit.
Like, I think it's important to challenge yourself and be surrounded by friends who are pushing you. And it's, if you're getting stuck at a certain income number or something's going wrong in your business, like, go ask for advice for people who are making more than you. But whenever your sole conversations and, like, sole reasons, like, oh, how much money did you make? Oh, you only made $5K, or you only made $6K, or you only made $7K, like you only made $10K. I hit $20 this month. It's like, that's just not a good environment. You'll always feel worthless.
There's a trend going around, and this is exactly what you're talking about. There's a trend going around where it's these finance guys, entrepreneurship guys, and they're like, when I make $10,000 a month, but the people in my mentorship group and my mentor is making $50,000 a day, and the trend is like, I don't feel anything. And it's like, bro, that's, man.
Because the thing is, you're going to get to a point where money doesn't matter. Yeah. Right? The financial freedom. Now, can I go buy a Lamborghini? No. But that's not my financial freedom. So you're going to get to a point where money doesn't matter, or you don't have to count it as, you don't have to like sit there and like calculate every cost of everything because you're worried you don't know if you'll be able to pay bills. Like, you'll be covered. And that's like the best feeling in the world. But whenever you get to that point, that's why you need purpose. Because once you get past that point, you're like, why am I even making this money?
Exactly.
Like, what's the purpose? Should I even keep pushing and keep doing these things? I don't really care.
And you know what's crazy is I had no idea what I was doing. Like, it wasn't necessarily for like my future wife or kids. I was kind of like selfish about it. And then like, I gave all of my clients a good service, but I was never like, what more can I do to help more people? It was never like that. It was always about how can I leverage this to make more money? That's what it was always about. And if y'all haven't noticed in my community anyway, I took away a lot of shit. I took away all my subscriptions. I don't post anything on Instagram for my subscriptions. I took away all of my tiers on Discord. I don't even think I have memberships set up on YouTube live streams because it's like, I'm disservicing these people because I'm telling them they have to pay money for a service, but when I was in their shoes, I was too broke to pay for a service that I really needed. So it's like, why don't I give it to them for free? Because that's exactly what I needed when I was in their shoes, you know? And it feels like now we're surrounded by too many people that are money hungry in this world, and that's why, in my opinion, that's why depression is very high. Because people are too busy chasing money and not chasing their purpose. Craziness.
I agree.
But I want to circle back real quick. So when did you become successful?
When I quit my job and I made my first dollar through online coaching.
Nice. Yep.
Honestly, when I made that first dollar, I was like, oh wow, I can actually really, really do this. I was like, yeah, I'm gonna be successful now. Because then it's like you get a taste, and it's like, yeah, once I make that first dollar, it's like I don't care how much I make. I know I can do it. That means if I can sell $1 of something, I can sell $1 million of it.
Mm-hmm.
You gotta find the right people. It takes time though. So that's when I classify when I became successful. When I took that, it's honestly when I took that leap and when I took that risk to bet on myself. And then I made $1, and I was like, okay, I have something to prove for it. And then my parents were always guessing, and then like when I showed them my first month, and they're like, okay,
yeah,
I'm like, all right.
The reason why I ask is because, especially me when I was younger, I was like, dude, I just want to be successful in life, and even these younger adults and late teenagers that are going into college, they're like, dude, like I just want to be successful. And then I'm like, well, what is your success? And they're like, well, what do you mean? And I'm like, dude, you don't even know the definition of your own success. So why are you even saying this? And that's something that I struggled with a lot in college, was I was like, I just want to be successful. And then it wasn't until, honestly, last year for me when I truly defined success in my own terms, and when I deemed myself as successful. Because I didn't deem myself as successful when I dropped out of college. I was like, I'm successful when I started to change up my content. I started doing more of like my brand stuff that fits my message. I didn't really deem myself successful when I quit school. I really didn't. I still kind of thought I was figuring it out. And then, you know what it probably was? It was probably when I posted my first YouTube video about my message. That was probably when I really labeled myself as successful, and I made no money from it.
Yeah.
Crazy. And even to this day, I make, on this podcast, we make no money. This podcast is free. We don't run ads. We don't make money from it. On my YouTube channel, I make max $2 a video. Max. That's it.
That's crazy.
And I am so much more fulfilled doing that than what I was just doing fitness coaching, bro. Like, I still love doing that, and it's always going to be a part of my business. But, man, lots changed, man. A lot has changed. That's for sure.
No, I agree. I mean, success, I think people define success as a 6-figure income and a stable job. Mm-hmm. Like, that's,
then it will evolve and be like, I have a wife and kids and stuff like that. But
or just stable or whatever. Yeah. That's not true success.
Not
your money. Like, when somebody says, I want to be successful, and they're like, oh, well, what does that look like? Is it, like, tied to money? They're like, well, no, it's not tied to money. And it's like, no, it is tied to money. Because if you were in the same exact position but then making $120,000, you would be content. You'd be successful.
Yeah.
And something to brag about to your family.
It's weird. People put a shield on it.
Success.
Weird.
You know what, actually? Success is something that you can brag about to other people, basically. Because if you go go to the bar and have a conversation with somebody asks, what are you doing? And you say, oh, I'm working at Chick-fil-A. I'm working at a fast food restaurant. They're instantly going to look down on you, right? You're going to feel worthless, so you don't feel successful. But if you say, oh, yeah, I work as a financial whatever guru, or I do social media full-time, I own this business, and I run this full-time. Doesn't matter how much money you make. They're going to be like, oh, wow, that person's like really successful. They're doing something that I don't know if I can do. So I think success is you're able to brag about something that you're doing to other people if they ask you what you're doing.
Yeah, that's good. Dude, that brought me up a thought. I was watching this interview the other day. This guy, I forgot what college he graduated from. He was really smart, though. And he was like, you want to know how to tell someone what you do, but actually do it with meaning and purpose? And it was like a a big conference. They're like, yeah. And they were like, well, first you got to find out your purpose. And he talked a little bit about that. And then he was like, so let's say that you are, let's say that you write books for kids, right? He was like, when someone asks you what you do, you say, I help kids dream great dreams at night. And they're like, wait, what? Like, what is that? Like, what does that entail, right? So I think about it like us. I'm like, what do? You would say something along the lines of, I help men and women in their 20s achieve something they thought they could never do, right? And then with me, if someone asked me what I did, I would say I give young adults and teenagers hope that it's possible. And they're like, wait, what? Like, what does that mean? It like gives this like sense of like urgency, like I want to know more compared to like, oh, I just work here. That's it. Because everyone knows that, right? But if you are truly involved with people and helping people, man, you can make your job sound so fucking badass. I think it's really cool.
No, I agree. Yeah, I agree. Like, you have to be able to make it so it's intriguing. Like, you don't just say, just the basic.
That's a side note, but like,
I help people lose fat.
Yeah, that's when I was like, this is true success, because I can like say what I do like that, and people are gonna ask me 100 questions.
I agree.
That's it doesn't have a monetary dollar sign attached to it. It doesn't have I have fucking 4 supercars. It's I help people do X, and they're like, wait, what? Well, like, tell me more.
That's what community. Like, that's literally it. You're helping somebody. That's how you know you're purposeful and you're gonna be successful, is if you're helping some type of people in some type of way. Like, there is no better way to, like, if you're doing that in your life and you're helping a group of people to do something that they never thought they could do, or whatever it is, when you tell other people that, do you realize how successful you're gonna sound and like how proud?
And it's not in a bragging way at all.
No, you're like, I do this. Like, I help people. Yeah. Like, how can you brag about helping people? You can't.
You literally can't. It's impossible.
Yeah.
It's literally impossible.
I guess there is, like, you could, like, one-up each other.
Yeah.
If you start doing more.
But
if somebody asks you what you're doing, like, I help people do this, and, like, they're going to be like, wow, that's so awesome. Guarantee you're going to inspire them.
Yeah, there's not going to be one person who says, oh, that sounds terrible.
Yeah.
No one, and if they do, then they're just a low-quality person.
Yeah. So.
Man.
Good topics.
God is good, man. God is good.
So.
I think we're gonna wrap it up there, dude. That was a steamy one.
That was a good one.
That was a steamer. Y'all do us a favor and just please share this with your best friend who you are trying to grow up with and make it to the end with, bro. That's all we ask. Someone needs to hear this who is struggling with purpose and they don't know what the hell they're doing with their life. This podcast needs to be sent to them. And yeah, man, that's all I got, dude. That was a steamer, man. That needed to be said. That was a good one, bro. That was a good one.
Appreciate y'all. Thanks so much for the support.
We love y'all so much. Support's been out of this world.
Out.
Peace out, guys.